I'm going to start at the beginner level and we'll work our way through experience level so that everyone can get something from this video. If there's anything in winging that I have spent the most time on, it is tacking, whether it's heel side tacking, toe side tacking. You'll see that I have videos showing examples of how to do both on my channel. I really wanted to revisit it because I've been running into people on the beach and seeing that they are in the early stages of learning how to tack. And I really just wanted to get another video out there providing some of the shortcuts to achieving your tacks, whether they are heel side or toe side. So the simple way that I would break down the tack is you have the elements that relate to wing control, and then you've got the elements that relate to board or foil control. All right, so let's start with board and foil control first, and then we'll touch on wing control afterwards. The biggest tip that I can provide for board or foil control when talking about tacking, you want to have as much speed as you can handle with stability leading into the tack. What that leads to is when you're learning, you want to tack through a really wide angle. You can be on a reaching angle going almost side onto the breeze and turning through a really, really wide angle to get to almost reaching on the other side. If you try and start a tack from pretty close to the breeze, if the breeze is coming from the top of the screen here, then you're automatically not going to have as much speed because the fastest point of sail is not going to be this angle. It's going to be somewhere from your reaching, beam reach angle to sort of a slightly downwind style of reach. Starting with as much speed leading into the tack just means that you are further away from the stall speed of your foil, which means you've got all this time to decelerate before you hit this critical point where you'd actually fall off the foil. So start with wide angles because wider angles will mean more speed. You'll flick through a wider turn and you'll get to understand carving your board because you're carving through a wider angle. So you'll learn more control of the board through a wider angle. And if you've done this wider angle, then that will translate to narrower angles as you get more experience. How do we do that when we've also got a wing in our hands? So let's talk about wing control a little bit. The one thing that I see the most with beginners learning to tack is not understanding how the dynamics of the wing works, especially in the roll axis. So if we're looking at a wing from the front, when it's flagged out, it looks like this. You know, when you're a beginner and you're going upwind, it probably looks a bit like this. And then as you get better, you get it more and more vertical as you're going upwind, and that gets as much power as possible. How do we get it between these points of roll? It comes from the inputs from your hands. The best concept to understand is how to initiate that roll with your wing. And it comes from the differential between, let's say, your front hand here, your back hand here, and it comes from this movement. So what that looks like, if you're on the beach, have your wing, got it here, you flick your backhand down, it's going to bring the wing overhead. It's going to initiate a roll and it's going to put that wingtip, the wingtip that was up here, it's going to put it over your shoulder behind you. What that does is it puts the wing on the new side and gets it into a position where it's ready for you to swap hands, grab some power and power out of the tack. If you don't get that concept, then you'll end up throwing into a tack where you let go of your backhand early. You think that just by going like this and dragging the wing over your head as you turn, it's going to magically roll and land in the right spot. But what I end up seeing is you do this, the wing's sort of like, I don't know, somewhere like this angle almost. And then you get this crazy flicking effect if you do get through your tack where you sheet on and the wing goes bang and flicks into the new position. And that's where people can get thrown off balance, all sorts of nasty things start to happen. The other thing that happens in that position is the wing is more likely to pick up wind from the wrong side, and you're going to end up not backwinding, but just having a lot more drag relative to throwing it over and getting in the right position. So if we go back to our two key concepts at the start, we had the wing control and the board control. While you're learning the board control, feel free to just do these ones. Just let go of the backhand early, drag it across and focus on that carving. Understand how that board feels carving through the wind, knowing that you're not going to land the tack. You might land one or two here or there, depending on the conditions. But then as you get that muscle memory of carving that board through the wind, start to bring in this letting go of the backhand a little bit later, but also adding in that backhand push that rolls the wing, let go, and you land on the new side, ready to go. Once you're able to bring those two elements of control together, your tacks will be so much smoother and you'll be a lot more consistent across the breeze range. If you want to get your tacks super smooth once you've mastered these techniques, or you just want to see some slowed down tacks with some frame by frame analysis, go watch these two videos here.